You know, I love staying at hotels around the Disneyland Resort. Now, I'm a local, so going to Disneyland is not a vacation for me. I don't get a lot of opportunities, a lot of experience with that, but I still want to know what that experience is like. I want to know what it's like so I can better inform you what it's like. Today we're staying at the Cambria Hotel and Suites, courtesy of Visit Anaheim and in partnership with GetAwayToday. They've put us up for 2 nights in this really cool suite. And I'll say up front that I can't believe how affordable it is. We'll get into that, but let's go take a look. First thing I noticed was, oh, cool, we got a suite. I didn't know we were getting one. It's, you know, one of those big rooms, which I've seen before doing a walkthrough of the hotel a couple years ago. So there's, you know, an actual living room with a television, which is kind of cool. Although we don't really use all that space myself personally. There's a bedroom over there. And it's like a literal bedroom and a kitchen, which we'll look at more in a bit. There's the dining table and there's a better look at the living room. Yeah. So, you know, I spend most of my time in the bedroom, but you can, if you want to, you know, somebody's sleeping while somebody else wants to be awake and you have a family. These are family rooms, not for an individual. They're family rooms. A full refrigerator, an actual sink. There you go. You can free. Oh my gosh. You know, you ever seen those little personal fridges that they have in most rooms? You realize how cool this can be if you're staying for multiple days. If you're staying for 3 or 4 days, those become really handy. I feel like I'm at home right now with all this storage and kitchen space. I always love a hotel that gives me a microwave because I like to reheat things when I get back. And it does come with coffee or tea, which you can use in the Keurig coffee maker. Here's the bedroom. King size bed is the room we got. And it does have, that's so cool. It does have the bunk beds, which I've seen these before, and I think this is really cool. Again, these are for families. These aren't for me personally, but I think it's awesome. I just liked having that bunk bed in the room. These rooms are quite nice, by the way. I love the way that this door is set up. That's the restroom back there. Mirror, and then there's television also for bedroom viewing. And this is a really nice setup. It's, you know, it's not themed per se. This is not a themed hotel, so you're not looking for anything Disney, but it's a very clean, very proper hotel room. And again, if you've got 2 kids, actually, you can fit 3 kids in here, which we'll show you in a minute. But obviously, bunk beds, top and bottom. I even managed to find my way to testing out both the bottom bunk and the top bunk. And I was halfway to actually trying to sleep up there. There's a little trundle bed you can pull out. That'll just slide right out. It's not on wheels or anything. You have to physically slide it out. Closet space, ample. Now, I mentioned during the intro how affordable this place was. This room now, well, actually, when I checked the prices, it was in the low 200s. If you were to try to book this, let's say in July, the fares went, or the fee went up a little bit. This room, which is the one king bed, sofa bed with breakfast included, that guy right there, that is $307 per night, which is still, for the size of the room and everything that you get in it, is a fantastic value, especially when you compare it to, I don't know, just pick a hotel on Harbor. We've stayed at the Tropicana recently, so I chose that to compare it. During the last, I just chose mid-July. In mid-July, the Tropicana is going for $350. There's a trade-off. Obviously, there's a trade-off what you're getting for that money. For $350, you're not getting much of a room at Tropicana, but you are across the street from the park. Whereas at Cambria, for $300, you're getting a much nicer room, but you are considerably disconnected from Disneyland. We're going to show you just what that means here in a little bit. Back to the room. Here is the restroom, and it's actually got 2 showers. So again, if you've got a family of 4 or more, it's nice having, you know, so that people don't have to take turns taking showers. You can 2 at a time. There's the shower 1, I guess. Water pressure is quite light here, though, I will say, but it's clean, nice shower, but the very light water pressure. And then there is shower 2, which I assume would have, that's a full bath. That's got a bathtub also. Water pressure there, I would assume, is equally light. Vanity, they've got these little dim lights. You can change the color. Okay. And if it's foggy, if you had a hot shower, you can defrost. Obviously, there was nothing to do here, so I couldn't defrost it, but you can. It's possible. Cool. One thing I like to note is how many outlets there are, which there are plenty on both sides of the bed, so both the partners can charge their phones, etc. at the same time. I appreciate that. Lighting appliances here at the bed. Very nice. And there is our view at night. Awoke the next morning, bright and early. Here's a better look of the view outside our room. It's a park view, quote unquote. You can see fireworks from here. From this room, this particular room we got, you can see Mission Break out there in the left, and then kind of Space Mountain and Matterhorn off in the distance. You may have noticed that breakfast is included with this room. And it's a very competitive breakfast, as you can imagine. They often are. You go to any hotel, and it's feast or famine for the people trying to get that breakfast. You have to rope drop it. This is me at they hadn't even opened yet when this line had formed. But it's full service breakfast. They alternate days between bacon and sausage. We were on a sausage morning. There's some eggs. I got a bagel and a piece of sausage, but there's lots, there's fruit, muffins, etc., which we had one of those as well. Here's the juice station. Orange juice was a little watery. I got to say, orange juice was a little watery. The ham was good. Okay, so there's your bagels where you can toast your bagels. You can make your own coffee. The coffee was okay. Didn't mind that so much, but again, very busy breakfast here at Cambria, and you definitely want to kind of set your expectation on that. It's going to be very, especially for the waffles. I couldn't even shoot the waffles because there were so many people making waffles that it was difficult. I had to, just get in the queue basically to get a shot at the waffles. There is a pool, a very nice pool. Actually, they're kind of known for their pool. I want to say they call that 30,000 square foot pool complete with 2 water slides, splash zones, all kinds of stuff. This is early in the morning before the pool had opened up, but a good sized pool. And it's actually kind of a party pool because it's right next to the bar. There's a bar inside the lobby that actually faces outwards too, also towards the pool. So there's a happy hour service, and the affordable drinks, actually, the house margarita was $6, $6 cocktails too, beers, etc. It was great. I didn't get to enjoy it, but those are good prices. I'll take it. And is that a putting green back there? That is. They've got a putting green back there. That's kind of cool. We'll talk more about the hotel in a little bit and the amenities, etc. But I want to find out. I want to find out what's important to me, and figure out how are we getting to Disneyland. So that's the hotel. Now we get into part of this conversation that's the most interesting, the thing that I really want to know. Recon. I'm all about recon. I'm all about knowing how long things take, how convenient things are. Hotel is great, but it's not exactly connected to Disneyland the way that obviously on-property hotels are, or even hotels on Harbor Boulevard. It is a good neighbor hotel. It is Disney affiliated, but well, let me show you. The hotel is at the intersection of Catella and Hassel Street. That's Catella right over here. By the way, it's located in this little sort of mini complex. They've got some interesting dining choices here as well. Starbucks, Hawaiian barbecue, Luna Grill, California Fish Grill, Habit, Yogurtland, and Jersey Mike's. So plenty of dining options here if you aren't eating. Well, I don't know if you can even eat at Cambria. We have to look into that. Or if you're not eating anywhere else, if you just need a quick bite, it's easy to get. We're gonna walk it in, and I wanna find out what that experience is like. Well, they call it Anaheim Boulevard here. I think it turns into Hastur down that way. Okay, so just to give you a sense of where we are, Catella, Anaheim Boulevard. On the other side of the Hampton Inn and Suites over there on that corner is the Toy Story parking lot. It's right behind that. According to Google, it's just over a mile, 1.1 miles, and it's going to take about 25 minutes. We're going to test that out, by the way. We're walking it in because the Cambria does not have a shuttle. There's no shuttle to the park. Some hotels do, some don't. Cambria does not, which means you have to either make your own arrangements or walk it in. They do have the city of Anaheim, they're connected with the Cambria Hotel. There's a matter of fact I've got, when I asked them about shuttles, they handed me this card. It's Tap to Ride. I think this is brought to you by the city of Anaheim. And there's a QR code. You click that, but basically it's $4 per adult for a ride to the park, and then $1.50 for a child. Nominal, I assume, and I'm assuming that is actually directly to Disneyland. It doesn't say, because who knows? I mean, you're not necessarily going to Disneyland anyway. But the problem is timing. You might have to wait 30 minutes because it has to come, go out and takes the guests to the park, I would assume, come back, get more guests, and go back and forth, or whatever the case may be. The guest relations, person told me that it could be maybe a half an hour, depending on how when you arrive and start waiting. So I'm not one to waste time. I'm not one to sit there and wait for a car to pick me up when I can walk there in less time it takes for them to come and get me. I don't mind walking. I do a lot of walking, and I feel like it can't be too bad because I have walked hundreds of times from the Toy Story parking lot, and there it is. That's the exit right over there. That's the exit from the Bullseye lot right there. And I have made that walk coming out of that lot many times. Coming up is Garden Walk, California Pizza Kitchen, Bubblegum Shrimp and all that. So I feel like it should be a fairly nominal journey. Now there are multiple paths you can take in. This is the one, I'm assuming this is the correct one. I feel like this is the correct one. Walking down Catella, making a right on Harbor. You can probably go, there's another street down the way on the other side of the Cambria Hotel that you could choose to walk down also if you want. You may be wondering, by the way, we're approaching Garden Walk now, 5 minutes into our journey. This is the Garden Walk entrance. I've tested this before. That is not a shortcut. You might be tempted to try to take that down to, what is that, Magic Way? I can't remember the name of the street, but anyway, it is quicker to walk directly down Catella and then make a right on Harbor. And that brings us to the intersection of Harbor Boulevard and Catella. This is basically the hub of the Disneyland area. If you're staying at off-site hotels, that was just over 10 minutes. There's the historic Candy Cane Inn. You can see the backside of Raider Springs Racers, Castle Inn and Suites. We've stayed here before. So yeah, I'm already inclined to say that this is a better choice, walking it in. And you're actually pretty close to a lot of other things that you can do here. Like I said, Garden Walk, other dining locations and things of that nature. But it's a 10-minute walk to that corner, probably another 10 minutes to get to bag check. So 20 minutes basically from door to door is my guess, but we got to get there first. I should mention on this walk in that one of the reasons why I was excited about the opportunity to stay at Cambria is because it's probably not a hotel that you have heard of. You would have to do a lot of study, a lot of search. You have to drive around the area. You can't see it from anywhere on Harbor Boulevard. You have to drive by it perhaps on the 5 or something to that effect. But it's well removed from the rest of the hotels, so it doesn't get a lot of talk. People don't talk about it the way they do about the the Harbor Boulevard hotels, all of these. So I'm excited for the opportunity to show you that it's really not that much different. I mean, you're not walking across the street, which is great. We stayed at Tropicana that one time. That was amazing. But it's darn close, especially, the value. When it comes to the value, that's really what it is. So it looks like that's another 4 minutes to the corner of Harbor and Disney. Disney Way, by the way, was the street I was trying to think of. You can come in from Disney Way. The Cambria Hotel is down that street and to the right. You can come in from that direction, but I feel like it's a little bit more indirect. 8:39, and we are now at 18 minutes, approaching bag check. And that's 21 minutes to the Esplanade Your mileage may vary. Well, actually, your mileage will be exactly the same, 1.1 miles. Your time may vary because I'm alone and I walk fairly briskly. I don't expect that everybody will be able to make that trip in 21 minutes, but it's still a nominal walk. I know, you might have kids, you might have strollers, you might have other people with you, but 21 minutes is what I achieved, and I'm here in the Esplanade. Let's go to Disneyland for a little bit. I do have work here in the park later today. I will be shooting Stay at Disneyland. But for the next hour and a half or so, I think it's up to me. So I'm gonna do some of my favorite things, I guess.
Welcome to Toad Hall. To ensure a safe and glorious ride home, remain firmly seated, hands above. In that mind, that's squeeze here and stay away.
Long may Mr. Toad reign here in Fantasyland. I love the fact that that's the first place I went when I said, you know, I got a little me time in the park. I'm going to Mr. Toad. They were calling it 20, and I'm like, that's not a 20-minute queue. But they're running half capacity, just 2 lanes right now, but that's okay. I'm just here for a lovely stroll through the Autopia countryside. I don't mind. What? Train, monorail. Awesome. Woo. That's why I love Autopia. Look there. Okay. Man, I just love seeing that monorail go by when I'm down here. That's so great. I've had occasions where I've seen like 2, 3 monorails go by on one trip around the track. It's pretty amazing. I want to take this opportunity, by the way, now that we're out here on Autopia, to thank both Visit Anaheim and GetAwayToday for hosting us for our visit here at the Cambria Hotel and our trip to Disneyland. They actually got our ticket for today. Very kind, very gracious. Visit Anaheim, it does a lot of great work in terms of encouraging people to come to the city, and not just at Disneyland, but they've hosted us at Ducks games, and there goes another monorail. Yeah! Woo, that was great. They've hosted us at Ducks games, and we went to the Discovery Science Center yesterday also. So be sure to check them out. There's a website and everything, and they got a lot of cool programs. But I want to thank them and GetAwayToday again, because they're the intermediary, the partner that makes that happen. So if you want to book a trip through or to Disneyland or any other theme park, or Disney World or Alani or a cruise or whatever, use GetAwayToday. There's a link in our description that is our affiliate link. Use that, and I hope you guys have a great time, and let's finish our trip through Autopia. This is my favorite part right here. I love this part. Yeah! I like going under the bridge, see the cars go by. Or maybe my second favorite, because I do love watching the monorail pass by also. There's Bird, he's stuck in the tree. Let's go off-road. Would be cool though if a people mover went by, right? Not gonna happen. Look how low. That's a monorail. Why did I never really pay attention to that? That's a monorail track. Look how you can high five somebody up there. Yeah, man. Why am I just now realizing how low that monorail track goes compared to Autopia? Wild. I miss the people mover though. I'm going to Florida though soon. I'll get to ride the people mover again, and we're almost done. Wow, that was fast.
One car lane between you and the car in front of you. Stop your car. Take your foot off of the pedal.
Wow, I'm passing all. I must be in the HOV lane, man. Passing all those cars. Huh. That's interesting. Usually you park in the same place you took off from. I was 1, now I'm 3. There goes the monorail. I love it. And there goes Autopia. Long may Autopia reign. Long live Autopia. Oh my God, I love this attraction so much. I shouldn't, I have no reason to, but I just do. This is Disneyland. Well, there goes the monorail again. Right there, come on. Come on. How can you not appreciate the historical significance of this attraction and what it means in terms of the aesthetics of this space? And it troubles me that people can't get their heads around that, and they're just like, erg, capacity, erg, you could do so much more. And I'm like, what more, man? That's Disneyland. That's Disneyland. I got another one for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're really at Disneyland. You know why Disneyland churros are the best? Why nobody can seem to get it right? It's because they're hot and fresh. You can't even get one of these like this at Magic Kingdom, Walt Disney World.
Bow line, cast off bow line. Engine room, ahead.
That's the legend. calling out the death markers so we can avoid running aground. One of those stories involves the old mansion you see over there on the hill. I heard it said that the place is haunted, filled with 999 ghosts, ghouls, and goblins. We're now passing Fowler's Hall. This is home for the three-masted Windjammer of Columbia, the first American ship to circumnavigate the Off the port side of the riverboat is a wise old shaman, sharing a story for all of us to hear. He's telling the tale of how it was on a young tribesman to take a hollowed-out branch and turn it into that most wondrous of musical instruments. On behalf of our entire crew, I'd like to thank you for the passage on the Mark Twain. At this time, we ask that you prepare to disembark.
Not a bad quick visit to Disneyland, not a bad interlude at all. A couple good rides in, a churro, Mark Twain, gosh. We had a Disneyland afternoon, Disneyland morning. I'm gonna get back to work. I've got to do State at Disneyland right now. Shoot that, and when I'm done, we're gonna head back to the Cambria Hotel and show you an alternative to walking back. And we're gonna test how valid that alternative is, both in terms of time, but also your endurance, because you're gonna have been here for a little while. Spending the day in the park, so you may or may not want to walk back all the way to Cambria, even though it's just 1.1 miles. Anyway, stay tuned for that. That's coming up next. All right, it is now 3:06 in the afternoon, just wrapped our State of Disneyland report. We're gonna head back to Cambria, and I could walk back. It'll be a 20-minute walk, probably the same as it took to get here. But as you might guess, I'm a little pooped. I'm a little tired. I'm a little exhausted. Let's try to see if we can. I want to find out what it's like to head back to the Toy Story parking lot, jump on one of these buses right here, and see how long it takes, A, to get from here back to the house, back to Toy Story, and then how long it takes to walk from Toy Story back to Cambria. No doubt, all in, it'll take longer time, but how much longer? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? That's a good trade, by the way, if you're tired, if your feet are aching, that's not so bad. You get a little bit, you get to sit down for a little bit, take a little bit of a break, and then just make that short walk from Toy Story to Cambria, which we'll show you how that goes as well. And the clock has already started. We're at 1 minute and 30 seconds. Once we make that choice, once we leave the park and make that choice to take the bus instead of walking in, is when the clock starts. Okay, so that was 11 minutes back to the parking lot. Now we're at 13:53 as we head out of the parking lot, walk it out. Head out to the Bullseye lot. And you will find, that's the JW Marriott right there. You can do the same thing if you stay there, by the way. Same process. If you are staying at JW, there's the Windmark, and then there, the taller one back there, that's us, that's Cambria. According to Google, we're a half mile from Cambria, so we've saved about a half mile in walking. That's your actual savings by taking the bus. And it said, what did it say, 15, 10? 12 minutes. It says it's gonna take us 12 minutes to walk back. So if we're at almost 16 minutes now, that's a 28-minute trip total, if Google's correct. We gotta go, this is the same way if you were to walk back to the park from Jesse. If you're walking in, you're gonna walk that way. You're gonna come across the street just as we are right now. you're gonna cross up here on Catella, but instead of turning left at Disneyland, we'll head back up the way we came this morning. On our way back, I'll let you know a few more of the amenities that are available to you at the Cambria Hotel and Suites. Let's give you some of those details about the hotel. The pool, we mentioned the pool earlier. It is open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. There's a pool and a hot tub. They do require a wristband. Everybody has to have a wristband to get into the pool. So keep that in mind. The water slides, which there are 2, I think at least, those are open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Fitness center, that's open 24 hours. You just have to ask the front desk for access. Outdoor sports, we're talking about the basketball court back there. That's pretty cool. Laundry room is available 24 hours a day, and there's a business center, kind of like a boardroom situation. There is self-parking. There is a parking lot. It's underneath the hotel. It's $32 per night. And then, as we mentioned, the complimentary hot breakfast, that's available from 6:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. There is also, if you want to buy some stuff later on, if you miss breakfast or whatever, there's like a small little bakery attached to the bar where you can get. They look kind of delicious, actually. They look kind of delicious. And I mentioned the bar, the happy hour. They've got 2 actually, a 4 to 6 p.m. and a 9 to 10 p.m. And again, pretty affordable prices. Draft beer at $9, cocktails $7-8, house margaritas $6. I mean, I'll take that. That's pretty nice. And they're saying there's a Splash Lounge restaurant, though I've not been able to find a single picture of what that is. It's probably just food that you like, bar food perhaps. I was not able to vet that, but it's shown on the Welcome to Cambria Hotel and Suites white paper that I got. So I guess you can verify that for yourself. Welcome back. We are at Clementine and Catella Avenue. At 17 minutes and 40 seconds so far. Oh, look at that. We're at 22 and a half minutes crossing the street right now at Anaheim Boulevard to Catella. That's not bad. And 24 minutes from the Esplanade to the doors of the Cambria Hotel and Suites. And back at our room, 27 minutes, 41 seconds. I accept. That's not bad. Time enough to rest before we go back to the park later on in the day, which we probably won't show you. We're going to wrap this show right here. But time enough to rest it is now 3:35 p.m. and, finish off your day. You got plenty of time in the evening. So this is a close enough resort, I think, for me personally, where you could actually go back to your hotel and rest and then return to the park, which is what I'm going to do right now.